Hello and welcome back to the 9 News Business Buzz. I'm Ryan Frazier, 9 News business expert. When a major federal lab like the National Laboratory of the Rockies sheds over 100 high-paying jobs, the impact doesn't just stay inside the campus gates. It's felt in Golden's restaurants, retail shops, and real estate market. How does a local community build resilience when its economic anchors start to shift? Joining us is Nola Krasky, president of the Golden Chamber of Commerce. Nola, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I love Golden. It's a beautiful, amazing community. But Nola, the lab has seen 2 rounds of layoffs in less than a year. Beyond the immediate job losses, how do these cuts trickle down to the small businesses, many of which are your members on Washington Avenue, who rely on that steady workforce spending in communities like Golden?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's certainly concerning anytime you see layoffs. Your first thought, of course, is for those employees who, might be members of our community. And so we want to make sure that they feel supported. But to your point, yeah, there's definitely a ripple effect when you have an employer as large as the lab is and multiple layoffs. You are going to see a short-term ripple effect within the small business community, and that could be, the coffee shops and restaurants, but as well as professional service providers that they might partner with and work with. But I think that one of the things that we have in Golden is a very diverse business community and a very resilient community, and so I think that those ripple effects they'll bounce back.
Yeah, as I said, this is the second round,
Yep.
and who knows whether there'll be additional layoffs. I guess it's yet to be determined with some of the shifting priorities of this administration. So I have to imagine, though, there's conversations happening in local business circles amongst your members and local civic leaders about, how these types of changes affect the community, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really where the chamber steps in, is that our role in our community is to be that business connector, to hold space for those types of conversations to happen and to bring those stakeholders together to have those types of conversations. And then after we've listened and we've heard and we've seen the concerns, we can start to advocate and address where we need to.
You kind of answered my next question, which is beautiful because, chambers like the Golden Chamber of Commerce are often amongst the first responders when you have these types of changes. You talked about some of the role of the chambers. Are there any other specific steps that the Golden Chamber is taking to help employees that are laid off, find new connections within the local business community, other companies or groups that may be hiring, for instance?
Well, I think one of the things that we do is, again, we serve as that resource for our business community, and that extends to their employees as well. And so we leverage key partnerships that we have. One of those being, our Jefferson County Business and Workforce Center has some tremendous resources. And so we're there to really connect people to those resources, whether it's the business themselves or the employees there. We also want to take a look at bigger picture issues, right? I mean, kind of go upstream a little bit and, what's happening, within the state of Colorado when it comes to workforce and talent development for that next generation of workers, and kind of what are the common themes that we're seeing. So we want to always have our eye and our ear to kind of some of those bigger picture issues as well.
I want to talk a little bit with you, Nola, about just the importance of having a diverse local economy. Now, Golden is home to icons like Coors and the School of Mines, but the lab has been a huge driver of the tech scene. Do layoffs like this signal a need for Golden to further diversify its business base to protect against, for instance, federal funding swings?
I mean, yes and no. I think that right now, one of the strengths of the Golden business community is just how diverse it is. And to your point, we have businesses that have had a legacy there. You mentioned School of Mines, you've mentioned Coors, and of course the lab as well. And some of those businesses have been around since before the state of Colorado was a state. So certainly in that time, they've seen ebbs and flows and changes in federal funding and have persevered. And so I do think that we have a strong community that is resilient to those changes. We also have, quite a bit of diversity in our business mix as far as, manufacturing in Golden. We have outdoor recreation industry is really strong in Golden. We have a strong tourist economy. And of course, all of that is supported by our small business community as well. So I think the diversity is there and hopefully it'll continue to grow.
Yeah, we were talking about offline how you all even have growing, if you will, startup scene
Yeah.
in Golden, which is kind of cool, right? I mean, think about the companies of the future, right? They got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you all have a growing community of startups as well.
Yeah, I think innovation has been a common theme in Golden for generations, and we're seeing that now with startups. We have a really strong entrepreneurial base in Golden, and really starting to see that take off and grow even more.
Yeah, now with the lab's rebrand and shifting priorities, the identity of the city as a green energy hub is evolving. How is the business community adapting to this new landscape while keeping the city's economic momentum alive?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think it kind of goes back to your last question, right? Which is that diversity, that diverse mix of businesses in our community. And I think that we have that now, and I think that we're seeing that continue to evolve and grow. And the more diverse mix of businesses that we can bring in, the stronger the economy will be overall in terms of, riding the storm, as so to speak. But I think we are an innovation hub. So not just a green hub, but we are an innovation hub, and we will continue to innovate. We will continue to rely on our legacy and our history that keeps our community strong.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is that, you definitely believe Golden is a resilient community, and that as we
absolutely.
see these types of shifts in the economy, whether it be layoffs at the lab or maybe it be new businesses moving into the local area, these things happen, and that ultimately you think the community is diverse, it's resilient, and will continue to see its way through these times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nola Krasky with the Golden Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For joining us. Whether it's tech disruptions or federal budget shifts, local business resilience is the bedrock of our local economies. For the 9 News Business Buzz, again, thanks to my guest, Nola Krasky, I'm Ryan Frazier. See you next time.